Let's talk about some more childhood ruining facts, part 3. Big Bird almost joined NASA's Challenger mission to encourage kids to get interested in space. Had the plan been followed through, millions of kids would have watched Big Bird and the spacecraft explode live on TV. Judith Barcy, who played Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven, was shot in the head and killed by her abusive father when she was 10. Her father then murdered her mother, doused their bodies with gasoline, and set them on fire. He then shot himself in the head. Judith's gravestone reads, "Yep, yep, yep," which is a quote from her Peppy, the Land Before Time character. Dr. Seuss cheated on his wife Helen Palmer, who was sick with cancer. As a result, she killed herself by overdosing on barbiturates. Her suicide note read, "I am too old and too enmeshed in everything you do and are, that I cannot conceive of life without you. My going will leave quite a rumor, but you can say I was overworked and overwrought. Your reputation with your friends and fans will not be harmed." Like, follow, and comment for more, and let me know what you want to see in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
Weird Nature Facts, Part 3. These are what the vestigial limbs of a beluga whale look like. When sailors first explored the Arctic waters, they understandably mistook beluga whales for real-life mermaids. These are what the muscles look like on a fully grown male Siberian tiger. This rare orchid, known as the flower of the Holy Spirit, only blooms once per year. It looks like a group of praying saints before blooming, but once it blooms, it turns into a flying dove.
Oh my God.
She's waving.
Oh my God.
Missy.
She's playing with Arya's toys.
Oh my.
This is a weird fact you didn't know. Everyone starts out as a female. See, fellas, when you're in the womb, your Y chromosome doesn't show up until 5 to 6 weeks later. So you really don't become a dude until 5 to 6 weeks in your mama's belly. Why do you think we have titties that we never use? So yeah, I hope you have fun knowing that you were a girl once.
In February 2018, a man who claimed to be a time traveller underwent a lie detector test on camera. The man, only known as Noah, said he was from the year 2030 and made several predictions for the near future. Among them, he said that Donald Trump would be re-elected for a second term of presidency. In 2028, time travel will be invented and the first humans will visit Mars. He also claimed that Bitcoin will be used as a currency, but that cash money also still exists. Noah also claims to have some sort of futuristic technology implanted in his wrist that is somehow involved in the time travel process. An X-ray confirms that there is in fact some sort of device embedded under the skin, but he refuses to have it surgically removed. Several days after the lie detector test, Noah was reported to mysteriously vanish during a live stream. It was then revealed that he contacted the channel via email, stating that he was briefly taken back to the year 2030 for interrogation.
Dark Things Disney Doesn't Want You to Know, Part 4. Today, let's talk about the mysterious disappearance of Rebecca Corium. Rebecca Corium was a 24-year-old worker on the Disney Wonder cruise ship. On March 22, 2011, while working on the cruise ship, Rebecca disappeared without a trace. This is one of the last photos taken of her, and it was from CCTV footage. At 5:45 a.m. that morning, footage revealed Rebecca talking on the phone with someone. She seemed visibly distressed. Now here's where it gets twisted. Many people believe that Disney knows exactly what happened to Rebecca, but are trying to cover up this whole thing. Let me explain. For starters, the captain of the ship said that Rebecca was just washed over by a big wave. They then gave Rebecca's parents a sandal and said that this was hers and it was retrieved from the deck that she was last seen on. Number 1, the sandal wasn't her size. Number 2, it wasn't her style. It was also revealed that Disney had edited the CCTV footage. Check out part 2 on this case for more information.
Okay, so I was about to do a bath. Oh my god, it's going crazy, Maddie. Maddie! Oh my god. Okay, so I was about to take a bath, okay? I was doing like a manifestation ritual, like in the bath. Oh my god, look! We have been manifesting abundance. This is the abundance candle, and there's
3 now. Do you see the third flame coming?
Maddie, I tried to blow this out and it wouldn't go out. What the heck?
What's going on?
These are the 3 real ways to survive Jeff the Killer. Number 1, if you see a young man holding a knife at the edge of the forest, don't go say hello. Number 2, never make waffles after midnight. And number 3, never ever go looking for him on a full moon. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck.
Yo, what's up? Some awesome creator just made a video about the creepiest McDonald's that has ever been made, and well, I kind of want to talk about it, so here we go. The McBarge, or the Friendship 500, was one of 2 floating McDonald's restaurants that have ever been made, and this one happened to be 187 feet long and located in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, apparently there was a staff that wore sailor outfits when they were making the food, but the food usually came out on a conveyor belt and you didn't really see who was making it. That's kind of creepy in itself. And although in '86 it was used for an expo and was planned to travel around the world, they never got around to it and it didn't really make it far. Now this boat has been abandoned for around 30 years, but the new owners of the McBarge claim that they're about to put around $3 million into it and start renovations so that they can open it again. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Weird facts you probably didn't know. The inventor of the Pringles can was buried inside of a Pringles can. The man was so proud of his invention he asked for his ashes to be placed inside of a can. Imagine your dying wish being like, I want to be Chip. In 2016, a young man placed a pineapple inside of a museum hoping that it would be mistaken for art. When he returned a day later, the museum had put it in glass because they thought it was art, further proving that not even museums understand art. And lastly, to boost tourism, Nebraska changed its state slogan to, honestly, it's not for everyone. Straight to the point.
This person that you're looking at right now does not exist. There is a real website out there called thispersondoesnotexist.com, and it basically just shows a bunch of randomly generated faces, but none of these people exist in real life. This website was launched by a software engineer named Philip Wang, and it's an AI system that comes up with some of the most realistic looking faces of non-existent people that machines have produced thus far. It's definitely one of the eeriest sites that I've ever been on in my life because these people look so real, but it's just literally a bunch of people's faces mishmashed to look like one. This site shows how easy it is becoming for people to create fake images that look plausibly real, and the generator creates a new face every 2 seconds. So if you want to see this, definitely go look for yourselves, but I warn you, it's eerie.
Creepy Ask Reddits, Part 1. Redditors who work at remote places. What creepy things have you noticed while at work? I used to work at a Boy Scout summer camp. Every week I had to take a big group of campers to a secluded spot for their wilderness survival badge. On this one night, it was getting late, so I sent all the campers to their shelters and started cleaning up the fire. That's when we heard in the distance what sounded like church bells. We were all a little creeped out since there were no churches or towns within 20 miles of us. After the bells stopped, the singing started. It sounded like church choir music, but with a lot of people and a lot more enthusiastic. All of the campers were super creeped out, but I lied to them, telling them there was a church service going on at the camp. Eventually, at almost 1 a.m., the singing stopped. I found out a few days later that there had been a huge KKK rally only a few miles away that night, and that's what we had heard.
This is the scariest Wendigo sighting of 2021. A few days ago, a young man visited Lake Erie, built a campsite and went to bed. He woke up to the smell of rot and saw a creature carrying what looked like a body standing just outside his campsite. He screamed and almost ran, but remembered that Wendigos are afraid of fire, so he tried to stay calm and made sure the fire stayed burning until morning. The fire kept him alive, and the Wendigo returned to the woods near the lake when the sun rose the next day. When he made it back home, no one believed what he saw and they said he was lying. Do you believe that Wendigos really exist?
Ever wonder what would happen if you stopped sleeping? During World War II, the Russians wanted to find a way to keep their soldiers awake longer. So they came up with this awful experiment where they took prisoners of war, put them in a gas chamber, and then exposed them to experimental drugs to see how long they could keep them awake for. Initially, the drugs seemed great. The first 4 days, the subjects were agitated, but were normal. By day 5, they stopped interacting with each other and began acting extremely paranoid. On day 9, one of the subjects screamed for so long that he tore his vocal cord. On day 14, they started eating themselves. On day 9, one of the subjects screamed for so long that he tore his vocal cord. On day 14, they started eating themselves. When they turned off the gas on day 15, all of the subjects began screaming in pain, begging for them to turn the gas back on. When they didn't, they all fell asleep and died.
In the 1940s, Russian researchers ran an experiment where they kept 5 people awake for 15 days using a gas stimulant. They were kept in a chamber with nothing but food, water, and a toilet and were constantly monitored. For the first 5 days, everything was fine, they didn't complain, but their conversations were rather dark. After the 5th day, they stopped talking to each other entirely. They suffered extreme paranoia. After the 9th day, they started to scream, running back and forth for hours until their vocal cords almost ripped. They freaked out and covered the glass, and for the next 3 days, the experimenters heard nothing but silence. Being concerned, the researchers told them that they were going to free one of them, to which they simply responded, "We no longer want to be freed."